Now we call that what? A miracle. Only because we don't quite understand how it works, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It simply means we don't quite understand how it works. But here is how you get a miracle going for your life. Number one, do what you can. Get the list of the stuff you could do and you haven't done. Postpone. And start cleaning that up. You can start at a better place for personal change. It'll affect your bank account, affect your future, affect your income, affect everything. You cannot start a better life change process than cleaning up what you should be doing. The man says, well, my mother lived down in Florida. Should have written her 6 months ago. I just can't seem to get the letter written. I'm asking you to get that letter written. Clean that up. You don't walk like other people walk. Don't postpone like the other people postpone. You see? Well, is it as simple as writing a letter? And the answer is yes. Where else would you start for the life personal change? You don't need a pink package to fall off the sky. You don't need a massive bomber, preconscious, subconscious. Practice changing. Find a 2,000-year-old guru. You don't need any of that stuff. Pass on all that. Kids are afraid of that stuff. Too much of it. You will be out on a limb with Shirley. Don't pass on all that stuff. This stuff's too easy. This stuff's too simple. It's called take action. Number one, on neglect, on errors, and discipline. Number two, start setting up some disciplines. If you'll do that, you will perform a miracle. Now, here is the second part of the miracle. Number one is do what you can. Here is number two. Do the best you can. If that's not your philosophy, I would ask you to amend it. Let me give you the best of ancient scripts. Here is what it says. Whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might, do it with all your strength, and do it with all your power. What a good philosophy. That's philosophy revolutionized your life if you haven't picked up late. A guy sleeps in a late, company doesn't seem to mind. Sleeps out early, first one in the making lots, heading for happy hours, stretches his break. Come early for lunch, late back for lunch, company doesn't seem to notice. Guy says, best as I can calculate, I'm putting about half a day's work, I'm collecting a full day's pay. And the guy says, I got it, mates. Little does he know, the seeds of his own disaster are already by the weakness of his own personal philosophy. It's not the company that's gonna determine your next 6 years. It's your philosophy about labor and about activity and miracle and soil and seed and sunshine and rain and the economy and the banks and the money and your attitude and then your ability to take action. All of that we call the process of life change. Miracles working. Number one, do what you can. Number two, do the best you can. Here is number four, results. Every once in a while, you gotta take a measure. See how you're doing with the three pieces: philosophy, attitude, activity. Now we take a measure called results. What's the result at the end of the day? The result at the end of the week. And you cannot let too much time go by without checking. When time goes by, 6 years, I've been out there working when I met my teacher, Mr. Schaff. And he said, well, Mr. Rohn, let's just go through a little summary here. He said, in the last 6 years, how much money have you saved and invested? Let's go through a little tab list here. How much money have you saved and invested in the last 6 years? I said, 0. He said, you've messed up. You remember those notes? I like that. You've messed up. He said, how sold you on that plan? I thought you, Mr. Rohn. The man's right. I'm a nice guy. I bought the wrong plan. What if you were 50 and broke? Didn't need to change countries. Bought the wrong plan. What a sad scenario that would be. But Mr. Schaff said, this question, let's go through some results. He asked, how many books have you read in the last 90 days? I said, what? 0. Wisdom of the world's available? Change your life. Change your future. Wisdom of the world's available. Develop any skill you want. Earn the income you want. Have all the treasure you want. Equities you want. Relationship you want with your family. Everything you want available. And the wisdom of the world to help you get it. Haven't read any book in the 90 days. My teacher said, Mr. Rohn, you have messed up. I'm telling you, you got the deal. Mr. Schaff said, Mr. Rohn, in the last 6 months, how many classes have you taken to improve your skills and to develop new skills? Go for the American dream. Become rich and powerful and sophisticated and healthy and influential. How many classes have you taken in the last 6 months? I said, how many? 0. He said, you've messed up. I said, you don't need to unmess the country. You don't need to strengthen out the perplex. You don't need to strengthen out any of this stuff. All you gotta do is look within and let result teach you a great deal about your own activity, your own attitude, and your own philosophy. I went through that process. Take this phrase home. Result is the name of the game. What other game is the result? Here is all life asks us to do. Make measurable progress in reasonable time. Just take home that little phrase. It's good phrase. We're asked in life simply to make measurable process in measurable time. We demanded of our children, how many years do you want your child to spend in 4th grade? Approximately about 1. If it looks like they're not gonna make it, we pour on the pressure called legitimate pressure. Lack of results, peer pressure, family pressure, school pressure, community of pressure, every other pressure we can bring to bear. Why? You cannot stay more than 1 year in 4th grade. As parents, you wouldn't have to leave the community. You would say, well, what if they're nice kids? Wouldn't you give them 3 or 4 years? The answer is no. You gotta make better progress than that. So you gotta check fairly often. Some things you gotta check every day. Some things you gotta check at least by the end of the week. Salesman joins his little sale company. He's supposed to make 10 sales first week. Wouldn't be legitimate. Call him on Friday and say, John, what? How many calls? I mean, this stuff is simple. John says, well, say, John, well, won't fit in the little box here. Well, John starts with a story. You say, John, I made this little box so small to a story won't fit. I don't need a story. I need what? A number. A number. What will the number tell me? Everything. John is supposed to make 10 calls. What if he made 20? You say, wow, we got us somebody. What if he only make 1 call? Will that tell us something about John's philosophy? The answer is yes. Will that tell us something about his attitude? Of course. Will it tell us something about his discipline? Of course. If he wants a lesson in life change, all he has to do is to be willing to face the numbers and come up with the result that will teach you to either celebrate if you got good result or fix whatever needs to be fixed in the philosophy, attitude, activity called discipline. You don't need to go anywhere else. I do believe in affirmations. They're valuable as long as you affirm the truth. Because it says in ancient scripts, the truth what? Will set you free. Free to do what? Amend your errors and pick up new disciplines. That's what the truth is for. To help us amend our errors and pick up the discipline for life change. That's what the truth is for. So I do believe in affirming the truth. If you're broke, best thing to affirm is, I'm broke. You put that up on the refrigerator where you can see it every day. I mean, that's how you do that. Now, if you need a little additional information, you just put it there. I'm 40 and broke. I mean, that ought to do it. And if you need just a little more, put up 3. I live in America and 40 and broke. That's enough to turn your life around, says. Hey, something is wrong. Somewhere I've messed up. I'm telling you, if you'll start with that, it's called the process of life change. It doesn't matter how small the process is to start. One discipline starts it, and then one discipline fits another and fits another. The first thing you know, you've got this change. It's called health change. Relationship with your own family change. Equities, unprecedented, that you can have in numbers that will stagger in imagination if you do not curse what's available and start amending what's possible to get the results that you want. I don't think I can put it in any better language. That's it. Kids can do it. Teenagers can. Can do I. Practice can do it. Managers can do it, right? Government officials can do it. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do this stuff called personal change. Wow. Result is the name of the game. Success is a number game. Good note to make. Success is a number game. You gotta go for the numbers. You gotta understand what's the number are. How many pounds overweight should you be at age 50 approximately? John says, I got this bones. He will give you 10 pounds. 10 pounds for a big bones. Otherwise, come on, John. 20 pounds, 25 pounds. Shouldn't we turn on the caution lights at work, at home? Blinking caution lights. Somebody says, what's the caution lights? So John's up about 20-25 pounds. We got the blinking lights going at home. Gotta go in here and work to remind him what's wrong numbers. 35, 45 points. Red light blinking at home. So he said, what's the blinking red lights? So John ups for 40 pounds, 50 pounds. We got a siren. What is this siren? At home and at work, John's up 50 pounds, 50 pounds. Cholesterol almost out of control. Come on. Success is a number game. I'm asking you to be mature enough to start checking your own numbers. How many books have you read in the last next 90 days. Transform your life, become cultured, powerful, sophisticated, healthy, influential. All the rest of the stuff you want. How many books? How many classes? How committed are you to taking what's available and turning it into equity? Is unprecedented. Since we live in a country that's there been so much country in the last 6,500 years, if you will pick up that process, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, it's called life change of the best order. Now, here is the last one. Number 5 is called lifestyle. Lifestyle, simply learning how to live well. The last of the 5 major pieces. Here is the ultimate challenge of life. I've worked on this. You cannot believe how hard since age 25. And that's after applying better philosophy, attitude, and activity, and picking now up results. What are the results for? Here is my ultimate challenge on results. To fashion with word. To jot down fashion. Fashion for yourself, lifestyle, or what we call the good life. That's the ultimate challenge. To take your results, take your money, take your results, take the return, take the equities you've gathered. And now fashion is yourself, a good life, like waving a tapestry. And Mr. Schaff gave me all kinds of examples on lifestyle. He gave me 2 phrases that helped change my life. In case you have to leave early, let me give you these 2 phrases. It'll be worth the price of coming and being here today. Just take these 2 phrases home in case you have to leave early. Here's number 1. Said Mr. Annett, if you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. When you said that, I said, my gosh, I don't know anybody that studies wealth. Where I'm gonna to learn it? He called, never mind, Mr. Rohn. Now that with me, meet me. If you will be with me for a while, he said, if you will commit yourself, he said, I'll teach you. And he began teaching me. He taught me the books, he taught me the stuff, changed my life. By the time I was 31, it was the great time to be a millionaire. The man taught me, well, if you wish to be wealthy, study well. If you were to show me your present economics plan in the personal conversation between you and me, you say, Mr. Rohn, let me disclose for you my current economic financial plan for the future. Would I get so excited? I'd say, hey, I'm gonna go across the country and lecture on your plan. And if the answer is no, Mr. Rohn, you probably shouldn't want to go across the country and lecture on my plan. Here is my question to you. Why not? Why wouldn't you have a superior, powerful financial plan that's taking you to the places you wanna go? I'm asking you, if you find yourself cut, like I was at the age of 25, make the personal commitment today and say, I'm gonna study, I'm gonna change. And 5 years from now, nobody gonna be able to say, how come you don't have a superior plan? Living in a superior country with a superior opportunity, nobody is gonna be able to say that 5 years from now to me. If you will make that commitment, I'm telling you, that will be one of the most exciting days of your life. Not because of my seminar, it'll be one of the most exciting days for your life because of your commitment to this simple little process I've outlined for you. Here is the second phrase. Mr. Schaff said, Mr. Rohn, if you wish to be happy, study happiness. I didn't know happiness was a study. My best hopes for happiness at age 25 was to just go through the day with my finger crossed, hoping something would make me happy. Schaff said, no, Mr. Rohn, happiness is not something you postpone. Happiness is not something off in the future. Happiness is something you designed. You gotta get the word. Happiness is something you designed. Happiness is a study. Happiness is a practice. Happiness is an art. It's not an accident. It is an art. And anybody that wants to can study, practice the art of happy living. Happiness is like culture. Money doesn't make you cultured, but culture is within the grasp of all of us. How much is a book on sophistication in the marketplace? $4,000? No, $40. I'm telling you, in America, everything is available. Everything within reach. All you have to be committed to it and make it study. Culture is a study. Sophistication is a study. It's not an amount. It's not an account. It's study. Money doesn't make you sophisticated and cultured. I know guy that's rich. He's a cold. The guy's cold eats with the elbow in his soaps. I mean, he's just a cold. Nothing much more pitiful than rich cold, you know? It's sad thing to see. Money doesn't make you sophisticated. Only study and practice makes you sophisticated. Only study and practice makes you cultured. And only study and practice makes you happy. Study and practice makes you rich. Key phrase, don't be lazy. And learning one, how to do well. Next, how to live well. Don't be lazy in learning and practicing the art of economic, practicing the art of productivity, and practicing the art of lifestyle. Mr. Schaff taught me such simple terms. Mr. Schaff said, Mr. Rohn, if you're getting your shoes shine boy has done an exceptional job. You look down, you got one of the world's all-time great shines, and you pay him. Now you got a little change in your hand. Question pops in your mind. Should I give him 1 quarter or 2 quarters as a tip for the neat shine? Here is what Mr. Schaff said. If two amounts pops in your mind, always go to higher amounts and become the higher thinking person. That helped change my life. Here is what he said. Become a 2-quarter person. Now, you can tell that was a long time ago when a quarter was a good tip. Now, it takes dollars, but just substitute 99 to dollar for quarters. Schaff said, hey, if you're thinking 1 quarter or 2 quarters, and you say, well, no, I'll just give him 1 quarter, he said, that'll affect the rest of the day. The rest of the day, you will look down, see the great shine. You will say, I've got the really cheap 1 loosey quarter tip from a shine. But he said, if you'll go for the 2 quarters, Mr. Schaff said, you cannot believe the extra happiness you can buy for just an extra quarter. That's called studying and practicing the art of lifestyle, which means living well. Money doesn't make you happy. Father winds up a $20 bill thrown at his son and says, if you need the darn stuff, then take it. Just get off my face, he said. A father with money and no joy. He studied economics, but never studied joy. I'm asking you to turn that around. Turn all around. I did a seminar one time, St. Louis, Missouri. When I finished a seminar like this, man walked up and said, Mr. Rohn, you've really got to me. Said, I'm gonna change my philosophy. I'm gonna change my attitude. I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna change everything. He said, you've touched me today. And he said, you will hear about me. You will hear about my story someday. I said, okay. A lot of people say things.